Sri Gurupyo Namaha children. Welcome to online class. In social science, we are going to see a lesson from geography today. In geography, we are going to have a lesson resources. Okay. Before I enter into the lesson, children, what is a resource? You just look around you, children. You may find various things. For example, you will have a laptop with you, or your earphone, your textbooks, your writing materials, your cloth, your books, so many things, isn't it? What are these called? See, they are called resources. Why are they called resources? Because they are used to satisfy your needs or wants, and they have the utility, and they are used to satisfy your wants are called resources. Okay, see, if you feel thirsty, what will you do? You'll drink water. If you feel suffocated, you'll switch on the fan or AC. Some of you may come to school by auto also, or by walk, or by a two wheeler, or so many things. So, these auto, water, electricity used, these are called resources. So, your wants or needs are satisfied by these resources, these things. So, they are called resources. So, anything that has utility and is used to satisfy your human wants is called a resource. So, you can say many examples for that. See this land, water, plants, minerals, clothes, utensils, food grains, books, your shoes, your uniforms, or your chair, table, everything is a resource because they satisfy your needs. Here, you can say minerals, isn't it? What are these minerals called? It is a new word for you children because you're going to learn about minerals in this 8th standard only. Minerals are nothing but naturally occurring substance is called a minerals. Okay, I can say some examples of minerals are these coal, petroleum, iron, gold, copper, all these things are called minerals. And then see some minerals, some resources can be used directly, but some resources cannot be used directly. What are the resources you can use directly? See, the air we breathe, water we drink, sunlight we get, all these resources we can directly use. Then some resources like iron ore cannot be used directly. These iron ore, no, it contains some impurities. It has to be removed from that. Then only you can use uh, these. Then after removing some impurities only, you can use this as steel. You can see the example of iron rods given here, isn't it? So some resources you can use directly, like air, water, and sunlight. Some resources need some process to be transformed into a usable product. And you are seeing a waterfall on the screen, isn't it? See, this waterfall is a gift of nature. There are various gifts of nature. One among them is this waterfall. See, the waterfall has force in it. This force can be used to generate electricity. So, falling water used to generate electricity is a resource. So, by using some technique, the gift of nature is transformed into a resource. So, what is a resource? Anything which has utility and is used to satisfy human wants is called a resource. A resource, some resources can be used directly, some cannot be used directly. And the gift of nature also can be called as a resource when they are transformed by using some techniques. Then here you can see This waterfall is a force which can be used to drive a water wheel. When a technique is used to harness this force of falling water, it becomes a resource. Here, what plays a good role, this technology and time are the two important factors which change a substance into a resource. Then, these resources can be classified into natural resource, human resource, and human made resources. What are natural resources? Resources derived from nature. From the name itself, we can say what are all the resources we are getting from nature? Isn't it? Soil, sunlight, air, water, forest, wildlife, sea, river, lakes, all these things are called natural resources. See the example, I have some few examples I have shown you. The sunlight, soil and water resources are called natural resources. Sunlight we get for heating and some solar energy is generated from sunlight. Soil is used for uh, crop production and water we are using for various purposes, drinking, bathing, cooking, very importantly for generating hydroelectricity. And then this natural resource is again classified into various divisions. It is on the basis of origin, on the basis of distribution, on the basis of use and development, and on the basis of availability. We will see one by one. So, on the basis of origin, the natural resources are divided into biotic resources and abiotic resources. What are biotic resources? From the name itself, you can say the resources which are obtained from biosphere. What is a biosphere? You have learnt in 7th standard what is a biosphere. You have learnt various spheres, lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. So then what is a biosphere? It is a part of land, air and water. So in the biosphere only living form exists, isn't it? So which is the only planet on, that is the earth is the only planet where biosphere exists, isn't it? Okay. Then what are the biotic resources then? Flora, fauna, human beings, and microorganisms are biotic resources. Just to see how these flora becomes a resource, what this flora gives us, how these forests become a resource, what are the benefits? Actually, resource means it should satisfy the needs, isn't it? What are the needs satisfied by the forest, and what value these things have? We'll just see. Listen, forests provide timber for wood products, and these forests beautify the environment. Yes or no? And very importantly, they provide clean air and water. And the carbon dioxide and oxygen are balanced by the forest because uh, we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide that is absorbed by plants and trees and they provide us oxygen, isn't it? So it is balanced and they provide food for wild animals and also they are the home for wild animals. And some more benefits which are got from the forests are they are the very important reason for getting rain, isn't it? And when you move on to the next one, when you take the fauna, how this fauna helps us? Fauna means animal. What are the benefits derived from animals as biotic resources? You know very well, animals provide a variety of foods, isn't it? Like milk, cheese, egg, butter, meat, etc. And in various places across the world, these animals are used as a transport. For example, when you take a camel, these are used in desert areas as a transportation system. And we get wool from the sheep. Animal skin is used for leather products. And we will move on to human beings. Who are human beings? We people are the human beings, isn't it? So how we become the resource? Why human beings are considered as a resource? Actually, human beings are the greatest resource on the earth. It is the people who add value to the resource with their skill and knowledge. I showed you an example, a waterfall. How a gift of nature becomes a resource by adding value or by using some technology and skill. The force of water is used to generate hydroelectricity. Isn't it? Same way, human beings use their skill and knowledge and add value to a product so that human beings are also considered as a resource, that is we come under biotic resources. Then I move on to microorganism. This is another division of biotic resources. See, they are actually microscopic in nature. It cannot be visible easily. Okay, so you can say the example of bacteria, virus, fungi, all those things. Actually, how are these microorganisms become a resource? Why we call them microorganism? Also provide some benefits to us. What is the utility it has? See, they are used in the production of antibiotics. What are antibiotics? That is, they are used to produce medicines and to make dairy products, and it is very much useful in the fermentation. When I speak about this fermentation, one second, sir. See, I can say a simple example. Your mother may make that idli batter or dosa batter. Have you seen that? What happens there? Once she grinds it, that batter will be kept left over for a night, isn't it? It will be kept aside for the full night. The next day morning, if you see that, the batter becomes lighter and it will raise up. The quantity will raise up. It is because of the fermentation. What is used there? The microorganisms like yeast helps in the fermentation. So what are all the biotic resources derived from natural resources? One is biotic resources and another one is abiotic resources. Under biotic resources we have flora, fauna, human beings and microorganisms. Then you move on to abiotic resources. What are abiotic resources? The resources which are obtained from non-living things in nature. What are the non-living things in nature? You can say land, water, sunlight, minerals and soil. So the land we use for construction activities, that is we live on land. Okay, then water is used for drinking, bathing, cooking and generating hydroelectricity. Sunlight is used for heating as well as for producing. Solar energy is used for generating the electricity. Minerals are used in industries. Soil is used for agriculture, isn't it? So these are the resources of abiotic resources. I can say the example of sunlight, soil, copper and gold. And we move on to the another classification of natural resources called actual or developed resources under the subheading of use and development. So first one we are going to see is actual or developed resources. See here what comes. The quality and quantity of resources are known to us. They are already being developed and currently being used by humans. So millions of years ago, it has been formed. It is there on the earth. We are using it now only. Why? Because we did not have the technology in those days. Now we have found out the technology to bring them out. So we are using these resources. For example, I can say the iron ore and coal deposits in Jharkhand, petroleum deposits in Western Asian countries. You can say one more example of uh, windmills and solar energy. I can give you the example of iron ore making. See, these resources have been formed millions of years ago. Nowadays, we are able to extract them out. Another example, you can see the coal deposits. See, these windmills, actually, wind energy was there for a long time. But in earlier period, 200, 300 years ago, they did not find the technology to use this wind energy for generating electricity. Now we are using the technology to bring the wind energy into existence. Okay, so now we are generating electricity through windmills. When you come to solar energy also is used to generate electricity nowadays. But previously, they earlier people they used only for heating and cooking. They did not know this technology. So nowadays it has been there for a long time, but currently only we are using. So they are called developed resources. Already been existed. Now we have developed them. The next one we move on to potential resources. That means it is not being used presently. Okay. Why? Because of lack of technological knowledge. But we know it is there, it is existed. After finding some technology, we will use it. For example, uranium found in Ladakh is an example of potential resource. Then we move on the basis of availability, how natural resources are classified. One is renewable resources, the other one is non-renewable resources. What are renewable? It can be renewed. That means what? It can be replenished within short span of time. For example, sunlight. Sun gives heat always, isn't it? And we will have water all the time. Air, we get it all the time. So these are called renewed. That is, they are unlimited in nature. When you move on to non-renewable resources, it cannot be renewed within the short span of time. You can say the example of metallic minerals, petroleum, coal, all these things take millions of years to be formed, isn't it? So they cannot be renewed within short span of time. So what we have to do here, all these resources have to be preserved and conserved. We should not waste them, especially we should not pollute them because they are limited in nature. These non renewable resources are limited in nature. Even the renewable resources, also, even though they can be renewed, we should see that they are not polluted so that they can be preserved for the future generation. Then we will move on to the natural resources classified on the basis of distribution. What is it? Ubiquitous resources and localized resources. What are ubiquitous resources? These resources are found everywhere. You can have air everywhere, water everywhere, land everywhere. So these are called ubiquitous resources. Then you move on to localized resources. See, from the name itself, we can find out these resources are not concentrated everywhere. They are concentrated in certain regions only. Example, you can say metals, coal, petroleum, all these resources we can get it from a certain region only. It is not available everywhere. So far what we have seen, what is a resource? Some resources can be used directly, some cannot be used directly, they need some process. Then resources are classified into natural resource, human resource and human made resource. So under natural resource only, we saw many classifications, biotic, abiotic, developed resource and potential resource, renewable and non-renewable, and ubiquitous and localized resources. I hope you have understood the meaning of resource and how they are classified. And the remaining part we will see in the next class, children. Stay home and stay safe, children. Thank you.